Hey guys, it's Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. Wanted to do the White Zone trade review for both members and for the public. I think it's important, A, to hold the transparency day by day, even on slow, grindy days like today, to get a good picture of what the White Zones did and didn't do, right, and where they succeeded and where they failed. None of the White Zones failed today, by the way. We had zero failure rate. And so the way that I set up the charts, a couple of things. White Zones are the highest odds trade locations. Yellow is the second highest odds, generally intended for traders who have a higher risk tolerance, right? Who perhaps have a better read of market price action or just more advanced in their trading than perhaps just taking the white zone where we have the highest odds of either getting the market to pause and or reject out of those locations, right? So someone asked me the question on StockTwits today, and so I want to make sure I answer that. I am highly confident in my trade plan when I get to a white zone that I can take that location, that I have a very good odds of making money out of that trade location. Okay, on the yellow zones, right, I generally want those to react more quickly, right, and more definitively. So a white zone I'll be a little patient with because I know I can get a larger counter rotation out of that location, right, and I expect a high win rate, meaning somewhere in the 70 to 80, if not higher, percent win rate from the white zones. From the yellow zones, somewhere closer to a 70% win rate would be about what I would expect, right? So sometimes the white zones run at 100%, sometimes there's a loss or two, but usually they're very reliable. So let's jump in. Before we do that, I had to post up the quick disclaimer here real quick. Let's throw that up. This is for educational purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. And I am not soliciting anybody to buy or sell anything, right? So again, this is both for the members and the general public. I gave a brief description of how they work. So let's go look. So let's rewind the day to start the day all the way from the beginning. And what I want to do is go and look at ES. Let's start there and look at where the white zone was. Okay, so the white zone was at 24.2550 to all the way at the bottom down here, which was 24.2350. Okay, and Globex low landed right here at 24.3250. So I want to show you this, particularly for my European traders. If you traded, let's see if we can grab this, and we go to a 5-minute chart. And then we change that to add ES. Well, if I can get add ES to print, which I can't, do not know why. Let's pause this. And finally we get add ES. So I want to show you this was 25.25, which is right here, to 23.25. Okay, so there was just a drop of heat behind that white zone. This is where Globex low came in at 22.50, right? So just behind the white zone. And then look at the extension out, right? So realize there was no white zone. The white zone above today was all the way up here, sitting in actually there was not a white zone above because we were too close to all-time highs to throw a white zone in. This is really, really critical, right? Understand, this white zone all the way through Europe and all the way through Asia and into early Europe, right, provided absolute support, right? And it's why when I put a decent stop behind it, I expect it to respond just like it responded here and push out, right? And you can see if you took it in early Asia and you left your trailer, right, you had a maximum potential trade of all the way up to 24.44. Think about that for a second. That's a 20 points. It's $1,000 a contract for swing traders, right? If you left a trailer and just trailed your stop up, right, you could have very easily, you left it behind the last swing low, you could have very easily ended up closing that out at the end of the day at 24.40, right? So now let's go to the next stage, right? Because I want to give you a glimpse of what we're looking at in the room, right? So we had the white zone. This was our key idea to get long out of this location. Obviously, we didn't get that opportunity. If you switch over and then you go to the day time frame, right? So you can see the chart's a little busier. The purple lines are the weakest locations, or they're just visual locations. They're not actually even zones. There's zones that where you have to have the ability and the most flexibility to take a trade and take a loss. This is the area we focus in least. The white zone is the area we focus in most, right? Followed by the yellow zone. So look, we open right above the yellow zone. This is the opening print. We don't test down into it, which would have been nice to be able to get a counter trade out of this location, but we did not push down. We opened and drove straight up. Now look at where, and again, remember I post these in the evening the day before. Total transparency, anybody who would like to see what I do with the charts is welcome into the room. Usually I'll post them shortly after I do this video, and they're there for the European session, Asian session, and into the US session the next day, right? And two things that are helpful here when you're trading, right? Granted, notice this purple line. This is the most recent swing high. You'll see a lot of weak traders will try to short the last swing high and then end up getting squeezed, right? There was no zone here. So what we knew is our upside target was this 24.42 to 24.44. You'll notice that we drove straight in. If you were aggressive and comfortable taking the yellow zones, the first punch in was, we barely missed it right here. We finally got it over here. We missed it by a tick the first time. And it rolls out of that 24.42, and then it rolls down to 24.38. That was worth approximately 4 points on the downside potential trade, depending on your ability to scale, right? And how you, and what your trade plan is for scaling, right? And I'll share a little bit on my trade plan. Is usually when I take a zone like this, which granted, if this wasn't a trend day up, would have been a super entry for me. Normally I would take a 2-point scale right out of the gate and then trail down and try to get an extension lower. This was essentially open drive higher and trend day up. And usually when we don't fill the gap in the first hour on days like today, we're not going to fill the gap. So I personally would be quicker to cover a short side trade on a day like today. Then you'll also notice that we marked off on arrows where today our indicators told us that we were getting exhaustion in the market at 24.44. And there again, if you were aggressive and you took that trade, that did roll down to 24.39 3/4 right at the end of the day. The point of this is not, okay, the point of this is not that you should have been stepping in front of trend days up. As a matter of fact, that would go against what I coach for individuals one-on-one. When you get a strong gap like this, right, this is a significant gap. We had the Fed chair speaking. I had very limited trade action today. I don't like to trade in environments where we're in a news-controlled environment. You can get a sudden move based on one person's trading. That's not the way that I trade, nor am I encouraging someone to step in front of the Fed chairwoman speaking or in front of a major news event. What I am trying to point out is that the zones, right, held very, very effectively. And wait till you see what we had over there in CL. I'm going to bring that up in just a second. Now I want to go over to NQ. NQ, this is the NQ chart. Again, you'll see it's all marked up. We used it all day long. Don't know why this is frozen, but it has. Let's try something here. Hold on a sec. Okay, so here we are with NQ, right? So you'll notice we opened up, we gapped up. This was the white zone overnight, 57.1750 to 57.07. Again, I want to go back and show you what the overnight session looked like here. So let me pull up the chart once more. I think I have it hidden underneath here. There we go. And we're going to go to NQ. And here is 57.07. I believe we said to 57.17. Okay, and you can see in the Asian session we opened just above. We dipped in. Let's see. I want to verify that what I told you is correct. 57.1750 to 57.07. There we go. So here's the white zone overnight in the Asian session. You got to love it when TradeStation freezes up. Okay, there we go. You know, if I haven't been on other webinars listening to other traders knowing that TradeStation occasionally freezes after market, you feel silly when you're trying to do a webinar and you're like, okay, the screen is frozen. So this is 57.17, right? And I want to show you this process here. Okay, this is 57.17, right? We open up. Notice the white zone holds all night long. then we get a push out of the white zone. So notice, again, if you're a swing trader, and that is not my focus, I'm a day trader by nature, right? But all the way through the European session, this area holds, right? And then look at the push. This is a push from 57.17 all the way up to 57.90. That's, let's just call it 70 points. 70, it is, every 10 points is $200. 70 points, that's $1,400 a contract, right? For my swing traders. For my day traders, I want to come in and show you this here. So if you look, right, we had, this was 57.39 to 57.49. Now realize this got blasted through because we were in a news environment. Yellen's comments in front of her testimony were released, and that's what caused that initial blast up. And if you look, we push down and we don't quite make it into this 57.49.50 for a rotation higher. But look how the market travels from white zone all the way down here to white zone, back to 57.86 to 57.95. And you'll notice yesterday the white zone held the market. This is where we closed out. This made the upside target, and just like today, we rolled right to the next upside target, the next white zone up. And for me, I don't know about anyone else's trading, that's immensely valuable. Not only that, if you were, again, uber aggressive, again, I pass on shorts in the last hour myself. If you were uber aggressive, you were able to squeeze a few points right here at the end of the day. Not the point of the video. The point of the video is we have traveled from white zone to white zone. So let's jump over to bonds and CL really quick. We've run just over time. Let's see here. Are we on? There we go. We'll drag this window over. So this is a 30-year note. I want to cover this first. First of all, this was the upside target and the first white zone location. We did not hit. You will see last night, yesterday, this is where the white zone was. We never got into the white zone in the overnight session. This is basically where Asia opened. Here, let me spread this out a little bit so everyone can see it. It's unfortunate because it would have made a really nice trade. So let's pull this down just a hair. So this is Asia open. We never make it down into the white zone, but that's all right. Right, and let me tell you why that's okay. On the bonds, that told you we really weren't looking short all the way through here. There was no short area. Now, you can argue that the yellow zone busted, and that's exactly the point. The yellow zone is a high odds location, but it's not as high in odds as the white zone, right? And where I want to focus my trades, particularly for my beginning traders, for my traders who maybe don't have as much seat time, experience, or don't know where to get their trade location. The white zone really helps you focus and know right where to pinpoint your trades. We pushed right into, we pushed right above and traded around the yellow zone all day long. This impulse move, I really thought we could get a continuation up to 153, 830 seconds to 1430 seconds. Maybe we'll land there overnight. We couldn't complete the push during the session. This pretty much exhausted it, which is unfortunate. It'd have been nice to be able, some of the traders took this 50-60 back and were targeting that white zone above. We just weren't able to get there during the regular session. Here's what I want to show you on CL. Now, CL's crude oil, it's very, very volatile, right? And these white zones do not exist. Let's get rid of these. These were, I was making an example in the room earlier. None of this existed. As a matter of fact, this is not even the CL chart because the yellow zones are missing. So hold on just 1 second. We can fix this. Let's close this. Close workspace. No to all. And let's open today's workspace. Alt 07. Oh, I know why. 0712. There we go. Now we will get today's. There we go. So I want to show you something. This was the only, notice above, so the white zone, the upside target, right, was this 46.95 to 47.12. It never hit. Oil inventories, difficult day to trade, right? And I want to stretch this out because what you're going to notice is this is a freight train rolling all the way up from 46.50 right into support, right? So remember, the purple is not a support line, white and yellow. Look how it slams right into 45.15. My friends, that's 3 ticks of heat for a rotation all the way back up to 45.90. Okay, that's an enormous trade. One contract there, right, had the potential of pulling out, let's see, 45.15 to 45.90. Not a math wizard, but I believe that's 75 points. That's $750 a contract on one contract, well placed. Now, I want to tell you something. One contract trades are hard in CL. Okay. However, 2 contracts aren't that hard, right? If you came in, you took that 45.15, right? You put your stop right below the swing low. This is, I mean, a difference literally of 3 ticks between break even and swing low, right? You took your first 20 points, 20 ticks out of this zone, which was relatively easily achieved. It came out right out of the gate. And then your second one, you had room to run it all the way back up, and it ran all the way back to the 50-60 retrace. I'll show you that. Right to the 62 retrace, which made a beautiful upside target. And at any rate, that's my 2 cents there. You have to know what you're doing in order to trade CL. It's not for the light of heart, but that zone was perfect today. And again, there really were no failures. There was no white zone failures. It stopped NQ dead in its tracks. It made a perfect upside target. And again, overnight, the white zones were beautiful trade locations. So anyways, that's a wrap up. That's what the white zones did today. I wish I could have done that quicker, but I think the information is important that you understand how to use the zones. My name is Simon. I'm a trading coach. I run a mentoring room, and I'm a professional trader. If you would like to come in the room and see what it's like to trade with a professional trader, if you'd like to get access to the charts, right, 5-day free trial, simply email me. I'm going to spell this out. tradeandperform@gmail.com. Anyone is welcome to have a 5-day trial. I do charge to be in the room. It's $95 a month, and I think it's probably the best value going up there. That's for ES, NQ, CL, and the 30-year note. So anyways, transparency, honesty, and the ability to help traders moving from boom bust to break even to profitability and consistent profitability, and the most important, learning how to hold on to your capital once you have it, right? Anyways, have a wonderful night. I will talk to everyone tomorrow.